of an absolute big blast of a trade here, but we have breaking news in regards to a trade that we have to share, and this has everything to do with my Mets. It is officially official. Fitting this happens right as I ended my live show on my platform covering the Mets all day. Here we go, folks. Breaking news is as follows. Cedric Mullins is heading to the New York Metropolitans. We await to find out the return there for Cedi, but yes, Mullins is the Mets outfield pick, which means that Luis Robert is likely staying put now in Southside Chicago unless we see a team like the Padres or someone else that we're not talking about right now go ahead and land them. So the Mets go ahead and they make their splash. They add their center fielder, an immediate upgrade over Tyrone Taylor. As we were just saying, this was needed. I'm very happy to see the Mets finally shore up this area. That's the gut reaction. Secondly, I'm really curious to see how Mullins' bat plays because over the past couple months, he has not swung the bat nearly as well as he did to start the season. So I'm hoping that it changes scenery as well as being in a deeper lineup than what he was in there in Baltimore. Bodes Cedric Mullins right, but we just talked about the clubhouse character, the great defense, as well as the veteran leadership that comes with a player like him. Rock solid base running on the bags as well that you guys can see there. There are a lot of appealing aspects to Cedric Mullins and his game, and now he enters the fold here for the New York Metropolitans as their center field option. Kate, what's your further thoughts about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just in general for the Mets, kind of checking all the boxes here. You know what I mean? They said they wanted to get a center fielder. They said they were in the market for an outfielder. Obviously, we saw Harrison Bader head on over to the Phillies. Didn't think he was going to have a Mets reunion anyway. But I think Cedric Mullins was one of the best options on the market that you could have possibly traded for. In terms of talent, I'm sure they didn't give up a lot for Cedric. Again, he's a rental. You're going to get him for a couple months, but he does provide veteran leadership. The Mets are very poised to make a deep run in the postseason this year. Now they have one of the best bullpens in baseball. They got their center fielder. Is there anyone else? I'm curious to not put you on the spot here, but like anyone else that you like really want to see the Mets acquire?
Absolutely. If one, the main thing with the Mets offense has been they're very Jekyll and Hyde. Their 1 through 4 has been top 4 in baseball, but their 5 through 9 has been ranked around 24th. So they've had a lot of liability with their younger players that haven't been consistent all year long. So adding Mullins is huge in that regard, but I would love to see them do something more offensively. Specifically, if they could at all try to pull off something either for second base / DH. They initially liked Brandon Lowe a lot, but the Rays don't feel inclined to trade him. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen. It's now the rotation. If the Mets are going to add anything more, I really hope that they can try to land a starter today. Sandy's still out there. Cabrera's still out there. Gallen's still out there. Kelly's still out there. You still have quality starters that could impact this rotation now. And, it's funny. I'm sure you probably had your initial reaction as a Yankees fan when the Mets signed Clay Holmes. But fast forward all these months later, and Clay Holmes probably is voted best as in a piggyback situation than necessarily being a true starter. He has not given us that length consistently that we've been looking for. And, all the more reason to go ahead and try to land a starter of quality to help in that regard. But listen, the Mets are already having 62. Oh, Ramon Gomez, Anthony Nunez, and Chandler Marsh are going back to the Baltimore Orioles. Okay, so for those that don't know, let me give you the tea here. So Chandler Marsh is more of a back-end prospect. Nothing personal against Chandler. Wishing you the best in Baltimore, but I don't really have much more that I have to say about that. When we talk beyond Chandler, however, we do see that we have Anthony Nunez, who's been having himself a pretty solid season there in the Mets minor leagues. He was one of an abundance of arms that's been pitching pretty darn well all year long, but the Mets have done a great job there with their scouting and player development the past 2 years under David Stern is that they can now stomach handling and parting ways with some of their mid to back tier prospects, whereas years prior, they were so deflated and so depleted in their farm that you had their top guys, but then there was no meat in between. It was just either top or nothing, and there was nothing in that middle. There was quite the gap. So by losing Nunez, that really doesn't change much, but Ramon Gomez is the one that I'm bummed to see moved, and here's why. He has an 80 grade fastball. He throws 104. And he's all over the place, but he has so much potential. He's currently in the Mets minor leagues, started the year in low A, got to high A as well. That's pretty much where he's been for the most part. The Mets love the electricity that comes with the arm, but clearly not enough as they were willing to trade him away in a rental deal for Cedric Mullins. So that is the knee-jerk initial reaction on what you guys need to know on what the Mets gave up there for Cedric Mullins. So you gave up a flamethrower reliever who has plenty upside, but also obviously is not in a current position where we're going to be seeing him in the bigs anytime soon. And the Mets are in a win now stage all the more reason for them to go ahead and make a move like this for Cedric Mullins. So yeah, I really can't complain. Out of all the prospects the Mets have traded the past 24 hours, there's only one that I'm still thinking about, and that's Jesus Baez, who they traded for Ryan Helsley. Outside of that, everything has been, I think, pretty content and understanding as to why they made the decisions that they did. But we do, Kate, have another trade to announce. More breaking news here. It's almost like it's the trade deadline. Who would have thought? What do we see here? The Yankees are acquiring reliever Jake Bird from the Rockies. That's a big one. Bang. Wow. What's the initial reaction to that? You got David Bednar and Jake Bird? What's next?
All right, initial reaction was, again, they're going for it. The bullpen has been atrocious. Not the past month, past like 2 months, the bullpen has been awful. Not a lot of dependable relievers. I love this move for the Yankees. Has Jake Bird fallen off a little bit in, past, I would say, like 4 or 5 appearances? Yes. Beginning of the season, he was absolutely electric. I'm